Hello, everybody, and welcome to a beautiful day here in Palo Alto, California. I'm Sarah Ash on commentary for this third and final game of the series between the Stanford Cardinal and Penn State Lions. Third game of the series, and Penn State taking the first two games. So third of three, and Stanford will try to avoid the sweep here today. Only one change other than the pitcher in the starting lineup for Stanford here. Luke Lavin in for Stanford in left field. And that's the one change we've got here for your Stanford Cardinal on the day. Right-handed pitcher Nick Dugan will take the mound to start off this game for the Cardinal. Nick Dugan, the right-handed sophomore from Eureka, California. His second start of the season here for Stanford this year, his third appearance overall. He's 1-0 in his starts, and he'll try to make this 2-0 as the Cardinal look to avoid the sweep here today. Nick Dugan on the mound, posting a 1.69 ERA in those two appearances and that one start. So starting off the season strong here, Nick Dugan on the mound. And we are off. We've got the play ball from our play ball kid, and approaching the mound, batting first for Penn State is Joe Jakonski, first baseman. Jakonski, left-handed batter, right-handed thrower. He'll be at first base today for Penn State. Dugan just low and inside. Two-0 here for Dugan. His first two pitches just missing, low inside, then low outside. Fastball to kick it off, just hit over 90 miles an hour on that clock. Change up for that second pitch, and Dugan gets Jakonski to swing through it. A great pitch there from Dugan. You could see it rising. Dugan gets him inside. 2-2 the count here, and a great first at bat here to kick it off for Joe Jakonski. Jakonski, leadoff batter for Penn State on the season this year. And you can see why, just outside there again. Full count, 3-2. Joe Jakonski just so good at forcing pitchers deep into the count. 3-2 count. Jakonski fouls that off, so we'll go again. Jakonski in his 6 games played has a 1.004 on base percentage. That is unreal. He's hitting almost 400 on the season, obviously early in the year, but quite the leadoff hitter for Penn State, and he hits that long and deep right center field. And that is out of here. A leadoff home run for Joe Jakonski. Penn State immediately up 1-0. And deceptive that thing was. It didn't look like it was going to carry all the way out. And a tough start there for Nick Dugan on the mound. Penn State just on fire so far in this series, obviously taking the first two games out of the 3. And getting rolling, wasting no time to get rolling today. And now batting is second baseman Kyle Hannon here for Penn State, as the Cardinal will look to just shake that one off and start again, and tipped backwards, 92-mile-an-hour fastball. Low and outside, 1-1. Kyle Hannon having a tough start to the year. He's hitting under 200 so far on the season out of all 6 games that he's played and started in, and swinging right through that one. Great pitch there from Dugan. One and two the count. Low and outside, and it's a good pitch from Dugan. You could see that Hannon had been chasing. So why not throw it a little outside, try to make him chase, get that strikeout. 2 and 2 the count now. Dugan on the mound. Kyle Hannon looking to continue what Jakonski started with that leadoff home run. Swing, a line drive, ground ball right down the first baseline, and that'll swing all the way into right field, into the corner, and he's headed for third. Here comes the relay throw, and it certainly won't be in time, and he slides into third base. A triple for Kyle Hannon, a difficult ball there. First baseman Jimmy Natty on Stanford to handle. It was a bouncing ball shot right down the line. It's difficult when it looks like it might hit that first base, and it took a hop. It just bounced right into that corner, right into that alley, and sent Brady Reynolds, right fielder, just chasing that down the line. And there was nothing he could do there other than get that relay throw in. So now up Bryce Moliano, third baseman here for Penn State. Swing and a miss. So Dugan continues to get ahead on the count. 2 strikes on both batters and 2 hits off of 2 strikes both times. And now he finds himself pitching from the stretch for the first time in the game. Stanford, you can see this infield shifting. Swinging a foul ball behind home plate. So once again, Dugan out in front, 2 strikes on the count. The third batter so far, he's been able to get to 2 strikes, but just can't quite secure that third strike yet. And a bouncing ball to third. Routine play there for the Stanford infielder. Third baseman Timo Becerra, and he'll tally that first out here for Stanford. Number 40, JT Marr, designated hitter now up here for Penn State. Marr posting a .450 batting average on the season so far in just 6 games, and obviously only 6 games in, but you can certainly see why he's hitting cleanup, designated hitter. A rough start here for Nick Dugan on the mound for Stanford, but you can see he's starting to get into the flow. Swing and a miss. He made Marr chase. Changeup, 79 miles an hour. From the stretch, and a long line drive to left field. Tagging is Hannon. And a sacrifice fly from JT Marr will bring Hannon home. Penn State up 2-0, but an out collected, and Nick Dugan now 2 outs. And able to pitch out of the stretch. Number 12, right fielder Adam Sasir. Now up for Penn State and immediately gets hit. He'll take that walk. So Penn State able to really force this pitch count up early in this first inning. And unfortunate there for Nick Dugan, as he looked like he was really getting into the flow. So man on first, now Kelly Taven, center fielder, number 13 up for Penn State. Dugan from the stretch. Slides, and what a play that is. Malcolm Moore from behind the plate tracks down Adam Cecere, who was trying to get the steal of second base. And Malcolm Moore behind the plate says absolutely not, throws him out in a great way to get out of that inning for the Stanford Cardinal. A tough start there, but a wonderful end as Malcolm Moore throws down Adam Cecere trying to steal second base. And now Stanford will try to answer here. Penn State up 2-0, tallying those 2 runs in the top of the first here. And we'll keep it here. Frankie Sanchez taking the mound, right-handed pitcher for Penn State. Frankie Sanchez with a 1.5 ERA on the season. He's 1-0 with just 1 game played and 1 game started, so he'll try to keep that going for Penn State. And top of the first inning, that really is indicative of the last few games here for Stanford. Penn State able to run up that pitch count. Dugan doing a great job of getting deep into the count, forcing 2 strikes, but Penn State just all over those third pitches, and Dugan close to getting out of the inning with just that 1 run, but unfortunately Penn State's bats have just been firing on all cylinders for the past few games. And we'll look back to yesterday in this matchup where Penn State took down Stanford in 7 innings, 13-3. The mercy rule was enacted there, over 10 runs. So they did not finish those 9 innings, but Penn State posting 13 runs to Stanford's 2. They had a massive 5th inning in that game with 5 runs tallied, and again 4 in the 7th. So they have not lost a step here in starting this game off strong. And coming up to bat here for Stanford, leading it off, is number 22, Court McDonald. McDonald, 6'1" sophomore out of Arlington, Texas, left-handed hitter, left-handed batter. He's posting so far the highest batting average on the season. He's got a .357 batting average in 5 games and actually a .571 slugging percentage. Believe it or not, that's the second on the team, and a big swing and a miss there. He was swinging for the fences on that one, but fooled on that 86-mile-an-hour slider. Oh, and 2 the count. Frankie Sanchez getting out ahead of Court McDonald here. Sophomore swings in a long foul ball. And as I said, Court McDonald here posting the 2nd highest batting average on the season. He's seeing the ball well, and he's making good contact with it. I'll try to lead off Stanford well here, and a good eye there, letting that fall outside, and Frankie Sanchez said, why not? Let's see if he chases this one. A close call, but a called ball there for Court McDonald. 2-2 the count, and a good eye. Sanchez in the windup. McDonald swings, and a long looping ball. A beautiful hit there from McDonald, and he'll take first. Great single to leave it off here for the Stanford Cardinal. Jimmy Natai, number 6, the sophomore from Sydney, Australia. He is leading the team on batting average this season. He's posting a .545 batting average in 6 games. And he's got a man on first here, and let's see if he can do something to help the Cardinal back Bouncing ball, a good eye, 1-0. Sanchez on the windup. McDonald goes. Slide, and he's out at second. A close call there, but gunned down from catcher Matt Maloney of Penn State. And just like that, Stanford squanders that leadoff single. Thrown out at second base is McDonald. But a good idea there from Stanford, trying to get some offense going, so why not try to get a runner in scoring position? Jimmy Nati now continues his at-bat. Swinging a big miss there. So already 2 attempted steals on the day, and both catchers, and Matt Maloney for Penn State and Malcolm Moore for Stanford gunning down those runners. Outside, a good eye from Nati. Foul ball again. Nati doing a good job here forcing Frankie Sanchez into quite a few more pitches. Sanchez, a slower pitcher than Stanford have seen in the past 2 days. Throwing consistently between 80, 85 miles an hour. We haven't really seen a changeup outside of that speed so far. Just inside, and a great eye there from Nati. Full count. Sanchez on the windup. Nati, and a bouncing ball. Looks like that'll roll foul. So we will do it again. Seven pitches on the at-bat so far. Nati doing a great job of forcing Sanchez, like I said, into a higher pitch count. That's the name of the game, really, when you're batting. How many pitches can you force the other pitcher to throw? Get your dugout a good look at what he's doing. Nati doing a great job with that here. And he'll stand in the box. Full count. Sanchez delivers. Nati, and a bouncing ball again. Swung foul down the third base line. Full count, and a long driven ball. But he just pulled that, so Nati making contact, but unable to keep it in bounds. Just getting a little too far ahead of that. That was an 87 mile an hour, and I mentioned Sanchez pitching a little bit slower than the previous 2 pitchers in this series, and I think you can see that here with Nati just getting in front of it a little bit too much, forcing him to pull it down that third baseline. And a walk for Jimmy Nati, an incredible at-bat there, forced into 10 pitches was Frankie Sanchez, and Nati now will take first base for Stanford, and Malcolm Moore, the catcher, number 10, who's already gunned down somebody at second base to get Stanford out of the top of that inning. Malcolm Moore will stand in for Stanford. Moore hitting .311 on the season. And we'll get a meeting on the mound here. Head coach Mike Gambino will head on out to talk to his pitcher, Frankie Sanchez. Gambino, 15th ever head coach for this Penn State baseball program. Gambino took over for the program after 13 years at the helm of his alma mater, Boston College. Before that, he spent some time scouting the MLB after his short minor league career, so he will head out, have a quick chat on the mound. Obviously, with scouting reports, he's got something in mind about what he specifically wants Frankie Sanchez to do in pitching to catcher Malcolm Moore here for Stanford. Moore with 4 RBIs on the season already. He's gotten a T on first base. Sanchez pitching out of the stretch. Swing and a miss, and that was a changeup, 73 miles an hour. We saw at least 10-mile-an-hour change on that difficult one, and it caught Moore. A 1-1. Sanchez out of the stretch, and Moore smacks it down that right base or first baseline into right field. And we will do it again. All 3 batters so far for Stanford making good contact with the ball, whether that's fouling it off multiple times, whether that's that single that Court McDonald had to start this inning before he was thrown out trying to steal second. Moore, again, contact, tough ball to second baseman of Penn State, Kyle Hannon, and he'll just get that lead runner. And that force play, and Jimmy the T thrown out at second. Moore on first, so a good routine play for Penn State. Handled well. It was a difficult bouncing ball to that second baseman, Kyle Hannon. And now batting number 5, Trevor Haskins, the shortstop for Stanford. Batting .250 on the season. Outside, Stanford with 3 base runners in this first inning so far, but so far no runs to show for it. Swinging a foul ball behind home plate. So again, Stanford players making good contact, or making contact nonetheless. 86-mile-an-hour fastball. High into Haskins, and Haskins will try to make something happen here for Stanford with 2 outs. Outside, behind the plate, catcher Matt Maloney for Penn State threatening Malcolm Moore, getting him back to first base, and certainly it is a situation where Stanford could put on a hit and run. Maloney doing a good job of keeping Moore close, and that's a long driven ball. High fly ball to center field and taken care of by Kelly. Taven Kelly, center fielder of Penn State. And that is the end of this first inning. We head into the second, Penn State leading 2-0, and we'll take a break here. We are back here for the start of the second inning. Top of the second, Taven Kelly leading it off, the center fielder for Penn State. Taven Kelly hitting .200 on the season in his 6 games played. And taking the mound again is Nick Dugan, right-handed pitcher for Stanford, who was forced into many pitches in that first inning. He swinging a foul ball. He will look to throw fewer pitches this inning, as Penn State was able to force him into a high pitch count in that first inning, multiple at-bats getting into full count, 2 strikes. And again, foul ball driven, so a quick 0-2 count here to start for Nick Dugan. Taven Kelly, 5th-year senior from Pennsylvania. He's gotten off to a rough start comparatively to his season last year. Like I said, posting a .200 batting average so far this year, and that'll be high and outside, 91-mile-an-hour fastball. So Dugan throwing fast, just needing to find the inside, needing to find that strike zone. Swing and a miss, and he got him. Nick Dugan with his first strikeout of the game. And coming up to the plate, number 18 now, Matt Maloney, catcher for Penn State. You've already seen some action behind the plate. Of course, throwing out Court McDonald to start bottom of that first inning. Maloney. Low and outside, and Maloney will stand back in. Bouncing ball again, low and outside there for Nick Dugan. 2-1 the count. Swing and a miss. Dugan got Maloney swinging again. Two and a close call. It could have gone either way. Home plate umpire calling that a ball, so we're full count. Once again, Nick Dugan finding himself in full count. And he'll need to throw a strike here. Swinging a bouncing ball up the middle. A beautiful hit there from Matt Maloney. 92-mile-an-hour fastball right down the middle, and Dugan did a good job to get that in the strike zone, but Maloney was all over it. Shot that right back up the middle, and now Bobby Marsh, the left fielder out of Penn State. Sophomore from Pennsylvania will stand in. Bobby Marsh having an incredible start to the season so far. He's batting .400 across 6 games so far, and a fly ball into left field. And that has handled Luke Lavin underneath that, and with this sunshine here in Palo Alto, that is anything but routine, so great job there from Luke Lavin. And Maloney kept on first base. 2 outs down. And Dugan will now face shortstop Grant Norris of Penn State. Norris, .238 average on the season so far across 6 games. Outside for ball 1. Outside from Dugan. Norris, as I said, 238 average on the season, which is among the lowest here of the starters for Penn State. Of course, this team posting such high numbers and such high averages. That doesn't say all that much. But of the starters, Grant Norris struggling a little bit to start this year, and outside called strike from our home plate umpire. And Nick Dugan will take it. Dugan checking the runner at first. Maloney will quickly get back. 2 outs always possible for hit and run situation, especially with somebody like Grant Norris at the plate. Outside and ball 4. So good job there from Grant Norris. Forcing Dugan into a high count, forcing that walk. We'll go back to the top of the order. Number 1, Joe Jakonski, who had a home run to lead off of this game at the top of the first. And now he's got 2 batters on, 2 outs. Let's see what the first baseman can do. And a strike there from Nick Dugan. Jakonski will watch that. 77-mile-per-hour changeup. Dugan from the stretch. Good eye there from Jakonski, who's taken 2 pitches. It doesn't really look like he was planning to swing on either one, just taking 2 pitches all the way through. 1-1 count. Dugan outside, and looked like Dugan was going to get out of this inning quickly with quick 2 outs to start. And suddenly, once again, Penn State find themselves 2 men on. Low and outside once again. And after starting this at bat with a called strike, Nick Dugan is now fallen behind in this count 3-1. In this situation, if you're Joe Jakonski, Dugan just walked Norris. You're taking all the way, and that's exactly what he does. Dugan loads the bases with 2 back-to-back walks. And now up for Penn State is Kyle Hannon, the second baseman. Hit a triple to lead off his at-bats in this game and scored on that sacrifice fly from JT Marr last inning. And so Kyle Hannon now with the bases loaded and 2 outs will take the field in a quick meeting on the mound here for Nick Dugan in the infield. And you can assume a lot of what they're saying is, got 2 outs, force at any base. Let's try to let him hit it. Really taking some of the pressure off of Dugan. This has been part of the problem for Stanford recently, just needing to throw more strikes. And a bunt down the third base line. And that'll be ruled a base hit here. So sneaky from Kyle Hannon. Stanford not expecting that, and a bunt puts him on first base. That'll be ruled a base hit, as I said. So a base hit for Kyle Hannon. He's 2 for 2 for the game, and now up Bryce. Third baseman out of Penn State. 0-1 on the day. And he'll take a strike, so bases loaded still. And a brilliant move there from Kyle Hannon as he saw Timo Barcera, the third baseman for Stanford, was just so far up the line. He thought he'd take his chances with his speed, and it worked out well. Swing and a miss. Bryce Molinaro swinging for the fences on that one. Outside 85-mile-an-hour slider from Dugan. Molinaro stands in, swing and a miss, and he got him for the inning. His second strikeout on the game, second strikeout of the inning, and Dugan gets out with just one run scored in that half inning, and we'll be back shortly for the bottom of the second. Welcome back, everybody, for the bottom of the second here. We have a pitching change for Penn State. Number 11, Mason Butash into the game here. Butash, 0-0 wins and losses on the season. He's had one appearance, one game started, but he didn't record a win from it. He's got 0.0 ERA. A called strike there for number 11, Luke Lavin, the left fielder for Stanford. One the count now for Lavin. Left-handed freshman batter out of Laguna Beach, California. Lavin showing bunt and pull it back for an inside. 92 miles an hour recorded from Mason Butash on that. And Lavin quick to get out of the way on that one. 2-1 the count. And a good eye there from Lavin. Both teams here are doing a good job of forcing these pitchers into higher pitch counts. Lavin 2-2 the count now. He's seen 4 pitches. One was another 92-mile-an-hour fastball. Lavin making good contact, but just fouling that off. Lavin with only one at-bat previous to this on the season so far for Stanford, and he'll take the hit, and he will take the walk. So base on balls to kick off the bottom of the second here for the Stanford Cardinal. And in that first inning, 0 runs recorded, but 3 runners left on. And let's see if they can turn that around in this inning. Coming up to bat to the plate, number 2, Timo Becerra, the third baseman. Becerra, the junior, out of Clovis, California. Tough start to the season for him. He's tied with the most strikeouts on the team. He's got 4 on the season already so far. In a meeting here between the umpires. And they'll take a look at it. At least from this vantage point, it certainly looked like Lavin got hit on base on ball. It got hit. You can take that base on balls, but of course, we'll go back. We'll review it. Umpires here, home plate. Umpire Mike Fisher will review this, and while we wait, we can rewind here and take a look. After yesterday's loss, of course, these two teams played twice before. Today, Penn State taking both of those wins. Stanford looking to avoid the sweep today, and after yesterday's 13-2 loss, the Cardinal have now dropped 3 straight games in back-to-back weekend series to open the season. Stanford is 1-5 to begin the season for the first time since 2020, when they started 1-8, and the Cardinal have now failed to score first in all but one game this year. Friday's game was actually the first that Stanford has scored first in this season, so a positive to take out of this 3-game series at the very least. Stanford on Friday able to record that first game where they got on the board first, and I think you can see from this game it's not for lack of base runners, it's not for lack of getting people on base, but Stanford missing in the runs department. Looking back to last year, when you look at the 2023 Stanford University baseball stats, 4 out of 5 of the top players recording the top average on the team, that's just speaking batting average wise, so 4 out of 5 of the players with the highest batting average on the team are no longer here. Tommy Troy, he's playing professionally now. Alberto Rios, he has also in the MLB. Braden Montgomery, he transferred, and Eddie Park over to the White Sox, he's in the MLB. And next, 5th, recording the 5th highest average on the season last year was Owen Cobb, number 1, with a .324 average on the season. Owen Cobb, of course, the sole player that I'm talking about in terms of high batting average from the season last year and carrying over into this year, Owen Cobb. And you've seen him already today. So run production is what is lacking here for Stanford, and they're just trying to find out. Early in the season it is still, so they're just trying to find out where those runs are going to come by, and perhaps adjusting the starting lineup, adjusting the lineup card, who's hitting before who's hitting cleanup. And if you didn't notice, Luke Lavin still on first base, so the call stands, and Timo Becerra, number 2, stands in. I said the third baseman, the junior out of Clovis, California. Tough start to the season for him. Recorded the most strikeouts on the team. He's got 4 on the season. 1-1 count. No outs, 1 on. Batosh will check Lavin. Of Court McDonald, of course, thrown out at second base, trying to steal second in that first inning. So Batosh checking on Laban there, and almost a pass ball. A good job there from catcher Matt Maloney, reaching across his body, making sure that doesn't get by them. 93 miles an hour, that one. Just outside. Good eye there from Timo Becerra. And you can hear the dugout. Laban, the big lead off of first base. Becerra, swing, and a bouncing ball to right field. Laban will hold up at second, and that was a good idea to do so, as Adam Cesari, with a great arm over there in right field, guns that into second, and suddenly, the bottom of the second, Stanford find themselves no outs, 2 on. And Brady Reynolds, the right fielder, will walk up to the plate. Reynolds, freshman out of Bakersfield, left-handed batter. Throws right. The right fielder will look to do something here. 2 on, no outs. And Mason Batosh on the mound for Penn State now has faced 2 batters. He's allowed them both on base. Perhaps an opportunity here for Stanford to capitalize. Brady Reynolds, .250 batting average on the season. Just 3 games played. He started 2, played in 3, and .250 batting average. And Reynolds getting the start today. In the middle to the bottom of the lineup here, doing good work for Stanford. Batosh from the stretch just outside. And a good look there from Reynolds. Two on, no outs. Batosh from the stretch, and Reynolds hits a high fly ball to right center field, and that is out of here. A 3-run shot for Brady Reynolds. And just like that, the Stanford Cardinal tie it up. Brady Reynolds, if you didn't hear over the loudspeaker, his first home run of the season, and the freshman gets his first home run in the Stanford Cardinal uniform. And what a shot that was from Reynolds. Mason Batosh just getting lit up on the mound right now by the Cardinal. 3 batters faced, and now suddenly it's all locked up at 3. Now designated hitter number 39, Jake Sapien, up to the plate. Sapien, designated hitter, but hitting just .158 on the season in 6 games. And why not, if you're Stanford right now, keep forcing Mason Batosh to throw some strikes. Sapien again, low and outside. Excuse me, Batosh low and outside. Sapien taking all the way as he should. Like I said, keep forcing Mason Batosh to throw a strike here. When he does, he's been lit up. Sapien taking all the way, and he'll take that strike. 92 miles an hour from Batosh on the mound. Batosh, the freshman. Getting his second appearance, as I mentioned. A foul ball back there from Sapien. Full count. No outs still. Sapien takes outside. A great take. And another walk for Mason Batosh, and we'll get a visit to the mound now, as expected. 4 runners for Mason Batosh. 2 walks, 1 single, and 1 home run allowed, and a difficult second inning right now for the freshman on the mound for Penn State. And he'll get a visit, and that'll be the day for him. So Mason Batosh, 4 runners, 2 walks, and 2 hits, and that'll be a short day for the freshman. Three to 3 the score, and we'll get a new pitcher here, the third of the game already. We're still in the second inning for Penn State, and he will take his time. Could this be the game that gets the Stanford Cardinal offense rolling here? Like I said, they've had trouble finding runs this season after coming off of a year where 4 out of their 5 top contributors left after last season, 3 to the major leagues and 1 transferring. And this is number 31 for Penn State taking the mound. This is Sheik DeGadiano. He's a graduate student out of Sugarloaf, Pennsylvania. A right-handed pitcher, 1 appearance on the year so far. No games started. He's come in out of the dugout 1 time before, and he's posting a 13.5 ERA from that 1 appearance, so a difficult outing, his first time out for Penn State, and he'll look to turn that around right now and help Mason Batosh out. Batosh still has 1 runner on first base. This is typical to see in the 3rd game of the series. Sometimes it's just a dugout day, and it seems to be that was initially planned for Penn State as their starting pitcher, Frankie Sanchez, pitched a great first inning, a shutout first inning, and was pulled off after the first, so it seems to be a planned dugout day for Penn State. So number 31, Sheik DeGadiano, will try to clean up this mess. And for Stanford, on the other hand, number 1, Owen Cobb, the second baseman, up to bat. Owen Cobb, the graduate student, he was a huge contributor for Stanford last season. On the season, he posted a 324 average, 324 batting average across 56 games played, and Owen Cobb will stand in. He'll take all the way for a strike. Cobb on the season with a 260 batting average. And he'll swing all the way through that. 0-2 the count now, but no outs and a big hill to climb here for Sheik DeGadiano on the mound for Penn State. Sapien on first, taking a big lead and swinging all the way through it. Owen Cobb, 3 pitches, 3 strikes, and he strikes out. So DeGadiano with a good start here, coming in from the bullpen, as he sends Owen Cobb back to sit down. And now back to the start of the lineup, Court McDonald, number 22, the center fielder for Stanford, who had a single to lead off this game in the first inning. Sapien on first. McDonald, check swing, and no swing, says our third base umpire. 1-0 the count. McDonald with a single to start off the first, but thrown out trying to steal second base. 1-0 on the day. Excuse me, 1 for 1 on the day. And a strike slightly inside. McDonald looked like he might not agree with that. A strike called nonetheless. 1-1 the count. Perhaps a makeup call from that check swing. Home plate umpire said, let's just even this out at 1-1. DeGaudiano checks on Sapien over on first base. He's been taking some big leads. But with Matt Maloney, the catcher for Penn State, behind the plate here, he's got a gun that we saw in that first inning, throwing out Court McDonald trying to steal second base. I'd be surprised if we saw Sapien do the same. And DeGaudiano turns around Court McDonald. Barely kept his footing on that one. 1-2 the count now, and Sheik DeGaudiano is coming out flying from the bullpen. 1-2 the count here, 1 out, 1 on. DeGaudiano clearly worried here about Sapien playing some mind games with him as he's on first base. Sapien, designated hitter, not taking too far of a lead off of first. Nothing out of the ordinary, and 1-2 here for Court McDonald, and a high ball. It'll be 2-2, and DeGaudiano looked so concerned about Sapien over there on first base. He just let that one fly. Sapien doing a good job, I suppose, playing some mind games here with Sheik DeGaudiano getting in his head. 2-2 the count here, 1 out, 1 on. McDonald swinging a weird bouncing ball down that first base side. And what a play that was. First baseman Joe Jakonski. It was a bouncing ball, despite it looking like it was a bit of a fly ball. It was a bouncing ball. Jakonski catches it over the head, a basket catch, turns around and catches Sapien, taking too big of a lead off of first base, but there's nothing Sapien could have done in that position. He had to start running off of first. It was a bouncing ball, so he had to go. And then tagging up Sapien was first baseman Joe Jakonski. Double play to end the inning there for Sheik DeGaudiano. He comes in and cleans up the mess. But still, the damage was done, and we are tied at 3. Stanford 3, Penn State 3. And Nick Dugan will take them out again for this third inning for Stanford. Leading off the inning for Penn State will be number 40, designated hitter J.T. Marr. J.T. Marr, the graduate student catcher who's designated hitting today. Bats left, throws right. J.T. Marr with a sacrifice fly in that first inning to bring Kyle Hannon home. He's 1 for 1 today. Dugan low and inside. J.T. Marr with a .448 batting average so far on the season across 6 games. Bouncing ball. It's a quick 2-0 count here for Nick Dugan. Marr taking all the way. forcing Dugan to throw a strike here, and 3-0 the count. 3-0, you expect Marr to take all the way here. And he does so, and straight down the middle, 90 miles an hour. From Dugan, 3-1 the count. Trying to work back from behind is Dugan. He does, and it is smacked to left field. And a great catch there from Luke Laban coming in. And it looks like that might fall. Smacked that ball from JT Marr, line drive into left field, but Laban all over it, and that ball just hung up in the air. And Laban able to get to it, so 1 out. 1 up, 1 down here for Nick Dugan. Adam Sassier, the right fielder, number 12, up to the plate for Penn State. Bouncing ball down the first base side, and routine play for first baseman Jimmy Natsi. So 2 outs after falling behind in the count to his first batter. Nick Dugan suddenly finds himself 2 outs, 2 up, 2 down. That is center fielder Taven Kelly, number 13. Taking a ball. Kelly struck out in his first appearance in the first inning. Low and outside there from Dugan. Kelly with a swinging strikeout in the first inning. And Dugan has his number. Two strikes. Kelly trying to make something happen here. Excuse me, now 2 strikes. Taven Kelly standing in, 2-2 the count. Smacks that foul. So we'll do it again, 2-2 the count. Like I said, Dugan has had Taven's number. Taven Kelly with a 200 batting average so far in the season. 6 games played, and Dugan delivers low and inside, full count. Dugan delivers, and Taven Kelly strikes out once again. Second strikeout recorded against Taven Kelly. Third strikeout for Nick Dugan altogether across this game. We'll see you back for the bottom of the inning. Welcome back. Sarah Ash here as I join you for the bottom of the third inning. Stanford coming up to the plate, and number 31, Sheik DeGaudiano, will stay on the mound here for Penn State. He came in with no outs and 1 on in the bottom of the second inning for Mason Batosh, and recorded 1 strikeout and then secured a double play to end the inning. And DeGaudiano will take the mound for this third inning here. And leading it off for the Stanford Cardinal, as you might have heard over the loudspeaker, Jimmy Natai, number 6, the first baseman. We've talked about him already on this broadcast. Number 6, Jimmy Natai, a sophomore from Sydney, Australia. He walked his first time up at the plate in the first inning. I'll try to get on base here again to kick it off in the third. Gadiano delivers high, and Natai was taking all the way there. 91 miles an hour. Sheik Gadiano throwing much faster than 2 pitchers before him. Strike right down the middle. 1-2 the count. Natai having a good year so far, .545 batting average. And he hits a high fly ball. And that's handled well from third baseman number 23, Bryce Molinaro from Penn State. And as I've mentioned before, while it looks routine, it most certainly is not, with this sun beaming down and directly in his eyes there on that fly ball. Good job there for Bryce Molinaro to get under it. And Penn State putting a big switch on now. This is illegal in the major leagues, but not in college ball right now. And clearly, Malcolm Moore, as you can tell from this shift that Penn State have put on, is a pull hitter. Lefty. They'll take. So the shift that Penn State had put on, they've thrown third baseman Bryce Molinaro over to the right side of the diamond, and they left shortstop Grant Norris alone on that left side of the diamond. Just betting Malcolm Moore to hit it the opposite direction, and he does, but it's a fly ball out of bounds. Malcolm Moore, number 10, the catcher here for Stanford in the first inning. He grounded out at first base. 0-1 on the day. And Penn State just testing him, betting him to go the other way. And if Malcolm Moore can deliver, there's a lot of space down that third baseline. And a weird pitch outside. It looked like that just got away from him. Sheik Gadiano didn't even have a grip on that when he let it go, is what it seems. And clearly a ball. Nobody will argue with that one. Moore smacks it down that first baseline, and if you're wondering why that shift was on, that's exactly it. That's the kind of power he has when he can pull the ball to right field. A power hitter, Malcolm Moore. Over 300 slugging percentage on the season. With how fast Gadiano is throwing, should make it a little easier for Malcolm Moore to just kind of poke that into the opposite field, and another ball outside. And if Gadiano keeps pitching him outside, again, it'll make it even easier for Malcolm Moore to try to smack that down that third baseline to the opposite field. Inside, and Moore draws the walk. Great at bat there from Malcolm Moore. Penn State testing him, but instead he's able to stand in, force DeGaudiano into multiple pitches, and DeGaudiano just didn't want to throw that into his sweet spot. He saw what happened when Moore smacked that foul down that right field line. Now to the plate, number 5, Trevor Haskins, the shortstop. He flied out to center field in his first appearance at the plate in the first inning. And he'll just let that one hit him right at him. And 2 back-to-back walks for Sheik DeGaudiano. And suddenly, 1 out. Stanford find themselves 2 men on, first and second, and Sheik DeGaudiano has some runners to deal with. And now Luke Lavin, number 11, Luke Lavin, number 11. He is the sole change in the lineup from today to yesterday. Yesterday, Lavin came in on a switch later in the game, but he didn't start. Today, Lavin getting the start in left field. And he saw his first plate appearance in the second inning. He drew a walk. Now he's got 2 men on, and he'll look to bring them home. Outside now, Stanford just challenging Sheik DeGaudiano, who had a great second inning and suddenly seems to have lost his feel for it. And Stanford just challenging DeGaudiano to throw a strike. Well outside. High and outside, 2-0. And if you're Luke Lavin, why would you even swing? And we've got 2 base on balls in a row, 2 walks, and then immediately in the first 2 pitches, 2-0 from DeGaudiano. I expect Lavin will be taking all the way. He does not. A swing and a foul ball, tipped backwards. State with a right-hander warming up in their bullpen. DeGaudiano from the stretch, and another one high and outside. And it keeps getting away from him in that same spot. We've seen at least 3 pitches go all the way high and outside, and a great job here today from catcher Matt Maloney, who's stopped a few balls from getting by him, especially with men on as Stanford have right now. Great game so far behind the plate from Matt Maloney. And another walk, 3 in a row to load the bases. And Sheik DeGaudiano, after recording an out to start this inning, immediately 3 walks in a row, and looks like we're going to take a break here. Try to calm DeGaudiano down, as pitching coach for Penn State coming out to the mound. And if you've joined us the last 2 games of this series, you might have seen something different than what you're seeing today. In the last 2 games, Penn State have taken big victories, including yesterday's 13-2 loss in 7 innings versus Stanford. Instead, today, we're locked at 3. And Stanford, at the bottom of the 3rd, 3 on, and just 1 out. A big opportunity here. Number 6 in the lineup will be up to bat. This will fall on the shoulders of third baseman number 2, Timo Becerra. Becerra, the junior from Clovis, California. He had a single his first time up to the plate in the second inning. And now bases loaded for Timo Becerra. We've already seen a 3-run shot for Stanford in this game, and now bases loaded for Becerra. Right-hander versus right-hander. Becerra will look to do something special here for Stanford, and even a long fly ball to the outfield would put Stanford ahead here. And a ball to start this at bat. Close call, low and inside. But it goes the direction of Timo Becerra. Gaudiano from the stretch. And he smacks it, but it's mishandled here from the shortstop, Grant Norris of Penn State, and Stanford able to get a run in. A weird play here because it looked like it was going to be a line drive, and Norris will be kicking himself for that. It looked like he had that on the line drive. He could have even had the opportunity to double somebody up there, but instead he drops it. And Norris, with the drop, allows a run to score here for Stanford. Sometimes that's just what you need to get things started. Brady Reynolds now up to bat. He had a home run in his first at bat, a 3-run shot to lock the game at 3, and he'll take a strike for that first pitch. Reynolds with an absolute smack to right center field. Reynolds, the freshman, that was his first home run as a Stanford Cardinal. A big day for him already. High and outside. And after a meeting on the mound, it looks like Penn State are hoping that Sheik Gaudiano can get through this inning. And it looks like a bit of a bullpen day for them. But they're hoping Gaudiano can eat up at least the rest of this inning. And he'll stand in from the stretch, 2-1. And Reynolds will take a good pitch there from Gaudiano, and depending on the umpire, it could have gone really either direction, but 2-1 the count. Reynolds. He takes outside, and once again, a tight strike zone here. Home plate umpire Mike Fitcher calling a tight game here. It's 3-1 the count to Brady Reynolds. There is an open bag, but Gaudiano already with 3 walks in the inning. He needs to throw a strike here and make that 4. Another walk to load the bases from Sheik Gaudiano, and now we will get that pitching change, it seems, as that will be the day for Gaudiano. Gaudiano with a great second inning. He came in and he got Mason Batosh out of quite a pickle, recording a strikeout and then a double play, and then coming into this third inning, records an out and then 3 walks, a single line drive that was dropped by his shortstop. Could have been an out, but nonetheless, single. And then a walk to Brady Reynolds, and that will be the day for Sheik Gaudiano of Penn State, as they now find themselves down in this third game of 3 to the Stanford Cardinal. Now taking the mound for Penn State, right-handed pitcher number 10, Ben DeMel. DeMel is a redshirt sophomore from Ohio. Looking back on his season so far, a short one at that. DeMel, the 6.75 ERA. He has 2 appearances in games, no starts. He's come out of the dugout both times. 6.75 ERA out of the dugout for him. Like I said, a redshirt sophomore for DeMel, who actually bats left when he gets the opportunity to, but obviously, as you can see here, throws right. And he will come in to face number 39, the designated hitter for Stanford University, Jake Sapien. Sapien drew a walk in the second inning. And as Penn State's number 10 gets ready. Ben DeMel warming up. Penn State's 4th pitcher already on the game. We're still in the 3rd inning. Sapien slowly approaching the plate. Jake Sapien, as I said, the designated hitter. He's posting a 158 average on the season across 6 games played, and all 6 games started. So a tough start to the season here for the designated hitter, Jake Sapien. But a good day already, forcing 1 walk. And now he comes up to the plate with bases loaded. And a strike to start for Ben DeMel. Two quick strikes here. 0-2 now the count for Jake Sapien. Bases loaded. Sapien will need to protect here in a close take. It's a good eye. Dangerous take, but a good eye there from Jake Sapien. Outside. 1-2 the count now. And a big moment here for the Stanford Cardinal, who in the 1st inning left 3 runners on base. A big 2nd inning, and now with 1 run recorded in this 3rd inning. Base is loaded already. They're hoping to not leave any men on base here. Lavin on 3rd. Haskins on 2nd. And Ben DeMel in his first batter face walks a run home. Jake Sapien goes down in the count 0-2 and is able to pause for the public address announcing, as you could probably hear, and Jake Sapien able to draw that base on balls after going down 0-2 in the count, and they'll walk a run home and a bad start for Ben DeMel. Now to the plate, Owen Cobb, 2nd baseman for Stanford University, and swing through that. Cobb, the graduate student from Seattle, Washington, had a big year last year. Hoping to continue that here after a tough start. Cobb struck out in the 2nd, swinging. And a high ball to left field. And this one is out of here. Count 'em, 1, 2, 3, 4. A grand slam for Owen Cobb. And you can hear it. Grand slam from Owen Cobb and his first home run of the season, and it was a big one at that. Owen Cobb, the 2nd baseman, and you don't get to see that every day. A grand slam from the graduate student who, as I said, was a huge contributor to Stanford. Last year he posted a .324 average. In 56 games he had 6 home runs on the season last year, 32 RBIs. And he'll tally 4 RBIs on that one, and his first home run of the year. And a tough start for Ben DeMel on the mound here for Penn State. 2 batters faced. 1 base on balls, and 1 grand slam. Now we are back to the top of the order. Court McDonald was the only batter who's not batted in this inning for Stanford. And after this, we'll go back to the top with Jimmy Natee, who kicked off this inning, and Court McDonald here. He's 1 for 2. And now 1 for 2 with a walk. Number 6, Jimmy Natai, coming up to the plate. And this is second at bat in the inning. We've gone all the way around the order. And a ground ball routine play to the shortstop, but a high ball thrown by the shortstop. He's had a tough inning so far. Grant Norris at shortstop for Penn State. He had that initial line drive at the start of the inning that he dropped, and instead of recording an out, Stanford were able to score it. And then here, routine ground ball to Grant Norris, and he throws it high. And Jimmy Natai gets on base with a single. And that should be recorded as an error, actually, from shortstop Grant Norris. And now we're having some back and forth. Somebody called timeout. As Court McDonald was trying to take third base. Now Malcolm Moore up to the plate. Moore at the beginning of this inning kicked off this onslaught of runs for Stanford with a walk drawn. His first inning, his first at bat, he grounded out to first, and so 0 for 1 with a walk today for Malcolm Moore. And this inning, anytime you get all the way around in the lineup, this inning has been absolutely huge for Stanford University. And even after that, those first 3 runs recorded, shot high, fly ball to left field, and it looks like it's lost, but third baseman Bryce Molinaro is able to handle that. And as I've said before, it looks routine. It certainly isn't. They're staring right into the sun on that one, and Bryce Molinaro does a great job to keep his eye on that, as I'm sure that ball disappeared into the sunshine for him. But 2 down, and with that, Bryce Molinaro sends us into the 4th inning. And Molinaro playing some great defense so far for Penn State. A few really tough fly balls for him, getting lost in the sunshine. He's able to keep his eye on them and track them down. And so Malcolm Moore, the fly out, the third baseman, to end inning. And what a big one that was for Stanford. And we talked about after that 3-run shot from Brady Reynolds, if this could possibly be the game to start to get Stanford's offense flowing, and it seems like in these first 3 innings it certainly might be. A 3-run shot, of course, from Brady Reynolds, and then plenty of walks drawn. A great job across the lineup here for Stanford University. 6 walks drawn in that 3rd inning alone by Stanford, and of course a grand slam home run for Owen Cobb recorded. And Nick Dugan, number 25 for Stanford, takes the mound again. He had a big rest in that half inning and some help from his offense, so he'll come out and try to protect the lead here for Stanford as they're looking to avoid this sweep. Penn State taking the first 2 games, and Stanford, though, looking like they're in full control of this one, but Penn State's offense never to be underestimated. And to kick off this inning is catcher number 18, Matt Maloney. Maloney's had a great game behind the plate so far. 1 at bat in this game. He hit a single, was able to reach second base, and then that's all she wrote for Matt Maloney. But 1 for 1 already on the day, and he'll hit a dribbler down that first baseline. Dugan with 3 strikeouts on the day so far. A tough first inning, and then 2 strikeouts in the second, 1 in the third. 90 mile an hour outside Low for Dugan. 2-1 the count. Good patience displayed here from Matt Maloney. They're swinging at that first pitch. And a changeup from Dugan, 82 miles an hour, and he just makes Maloney miss on that one. Beautiful pitch, 2-2 the count now. Bouncing ball to first base, that's handled well from first baseman Jimmy Natai, and 1 up, 1 down so far for Nick Dugan in this top of the 4th inning. And not so much to be done here for the Stanford infield. Lots of fly balls and lots of strikeouts. As I mentioned, 3 strikeouts on the day so far already for Nick Dugan. And that a bouncing ball. And inside, number 28 left fielder, Bobby Marsh. Here for Penn State. Outside fastball, 90 miles an hour there from Dugan. Marsh 0 for 1 on the day, a fly out in that first inning. A strike. Change up there. That changeup's been working for Dugan today. And Bobby Marsh here, sophomore for Penn State, will look to get something going for their offense that after a big first inning has been relatively cold. Dugan delivers and low. Change up again from Dugan. Good at bat here from Bobby Marsh. Dugan with his 4th walk of the day puts Bobby Marsh on first base, and it's been a day of walks. Both teams drawing a lot of walks, and what that really means is, as we've spoken about earlier in the broadcast, both teams doing a great job at the plate of forcing these pitchers into big pitch counts and forcing them late into the at-bat. Now Grant Norris, number 0 for Penn State, the shortstop, will take the plate. Norris had a tough inning in the infield in this bottom of the 3rd that we just played, and Dugan will check on Marsh on first base. Dugan from the stretch. Low and outside, and suddenly after pitching Matt Maloney well to start this half inning, Dugan seems to have lost the strike zone, so he'll take a lap around the mound, try to reset himself. Norris, bouncing ball. And a double play here from the Stanford Cardinal, a bouncing ball to Trevor Haskins. He flips it over to second baseman Owen Cobb, and then over to Jimmy Natai. Double play to get out of that inning for Stanford and Nick Dugan, and 1 left on for Penn State as Grant Norris grounds into a double play to end that half inning. And we will be back with you for the bottom of the 4th. Sarah Ash here, back with you for the bottom of the fourth inning here, and another pitching change for Penn State. Their fifth on the day, and we will see Matt Morash, usually wears number 26 today, wearing number 39. Matt Morash, left-handed pitcher. He's a freshman out of Westford, Massachusetts. And Morash, so far on the year, let's take a look at what he's been able to do. Matt Morash, with a 3.37 ERA. He's had just one appearance, came out of the bullpen on that one. 0 games started, so in that one game, 3.37 ERA for Matt Morash is his second appearance on the year. Again, a bullpen day it is for Penn State, and whether that was planned, it seemingly was. The subsequent pitchers after starter Frankie Sanchez. Who had a lockdown first inning. The subsequent pitchers have all had trouble. Mason Batash, Sheik DeGaliano, Ben DeMel, and now Matt Morash. And leading off this inning, number 5, Trevor Haskins, and he smacks that into left field, a long line drive, and that's handled well by left fielder Bobby Marsh of Penn State. Luke Lavin, as you might have heard over the PA system here, we've got a guest announcer, a young Stanford Cardinal fan. And Matt Morash, after recording 1 up, 1 down his first out, he'll start this one off with a ball. 79-mile-an-hour changeup. This one smacked into the gap between first and second base, and a great hit there from Luke Lavin, who previous to this had 2 walks, and now he'll take a single in that gap. And Stanford's offense has certainly gotten going today. Number 2, Timo Becerra, the third baseman, now coming up to the plate, and Becerra with 2 singles on the day so far, 2 for 2. One on, and Becerra smacks that right up the middle, and there was nothing Penn State infield could do there. Beautiful hit, just exactly what they teach you. Just smack that right back where it came from. Just like that, Becerra wastes no time. #27, Brady Reynolds up to the plate, the right fielder, the freshman who hit a 3-run shot in the second inning, now up to bat for Stanford with 2 on. Becerra on first, Lavin on second. And Reynolds will stand in, left-hander versus left-hander. Matt Morash, high ball, start this off. 1 ball, no strikes, and what a game this has been for Brady Reynolds. A 3-run shot in the second and then a walk in the third. And he swings through that one. 79-mile-an-hour changeup, and he got Reynolds with that one. And you may be able to hear our guest announcer practicing. Swinging a foul ball behind. It looked like it caught the mask of catcher Matt Maloney. But he seems to be okay. It's Brady Reynolds. Will stand in versus Matt Morash. 2 on. Becerra at first, Lavin at second. Reynolds will take that outside. swing and a miss. And he got him. Matt Morash with his first strikeout recorded of the day. And you can't win them all. Brady Reynolds having an amazing day so far, so baseball gods had to even that one out. 2 out, 2 on, and Jake Sapien, designated hitter, will take the plate now. 2 walks on the day for Jake Sapien. And with 2 outs, he'll look to bring one of his runners home, or at the very least, perhaps another walk could fill the bases again for Owen Cobb, who's already got a grand slam on the day. Outside, 78-mile-an-hour curveball. Or excuse me, 87-mile-an-hour curveball. I read that one backwards to Jake Sapien. Sapien swings all the way through. He thought he had it, but another curveball from Morash, and after a rocky start, he seems to have found his stride with strikeout to Brady Reynolds, and now 2 strikes to Jake Sapien. 2 strikes for Sapien, 2 outs, and 2 runners on here for Stanford, looking to add to their lead. Swinging a high fly ball, center field coming charging in. It is center fielder Taven Kelly, and he is all over that to end the inning for the Cardinals. So 2 runners left on for Stanford. And that is the end of the 4th inning here. Stanford, despite the many men left on, their offense is rolling, and it's certainly a different story today than it has been the past 2 games. And taking the mound once again for the Stanford Cardinal, Nick Dugan. Heading into the top of the 5th inning. And after Penn State recorded 3 runs in that first inning, Nick Dugan has kept them scoreless. So rocky start in that first inning, but Dugan then locking it down. He's got 3 strikeouts on the day. And he's going to face the top of the lineup for Penn State to start off this 5th inning. Joe Jakonski, the first baseman, will kick it off for Penn State. Number 1, hit a home run to lead off in the first inning. First batter of the game, solo shot. And then he walked in the 2nd inning. So 1 for 1 and a walk for Joe Jakonski against Nick Dugan. He will look to add to this. 9-3, Stanford Cardinal. And it's been all Stanford since that first inning. As I said, Penn State recording 3 runs in that first inning and nothing since then. Stanford, on the other hand, nothing in that first, but 9 runs since then. And a different story to the previous 2 games. Yesterday, Stanford only would be able to record 2 runs altogether, and they really seem to have gotten their offense rolling right now. But right now, it's all about the defense for the Cardinal as Jakonski stands in and a slow roller back to the pitcher. And Dugan throws out Jakonski at first base. And now Kyle Hannon, the second baseman, number 2, will come up to bat for Penn State. Hannon had a triple in the first to start this game, and then a cheeky bunt in the second that was able to get him on base. And now he'll stand in showing bunt again. Hannon with that speed, he's able to get on base with those bunts. And once again, he caught out that third baseman, Stanford's third baseman, Timo Becerra, all the way back in the bag. Becerra now adjusting his positioning as Hannon shows bunt once again. A change up there from Dugan, 76 miles an hour. Inside, a beautiful pitch there. Hannon was taking all the way. 91 miles an hour. Hannon swinging a foul ball, line drive foul ball. He pulled that one all the way into the Stanford dugout, and he'll stand back in ready to go. He liked how that one felt. Hannon with a swing and a miss. Nick Dugan, 4th strikeout on the day. And caught swinging Kyle Hannon on the payoff pitch, and now 2 up, 2 down in number 23, Bryce Molinaro, the 3rd baseman. Up for Penn State, and he'll take a strike. Slightly high and outside, but strike nonetheless. To Molinaro, 0-1. Another called strike, now quickly down in the count. Molinaro, 0-2. High and outside, and Dugan, why not try something? Ahead in the count, 0-2. Nobody on, 2 outs. Comfortable position to be pitching from if you're Nick Dugan. Swing and a miss, and he got him his 2nd strikeout of the inning, his 5th on the day. And Bryce Molinaro strikes out for a 2nd time today. And Nick Dugan just seems to be getting more and more comfortable on the mound here in his 2nd start. And through 5, Dugan has allowed 3, struck out 3 runs, struck out 5. And the question is, will we see him back for the 2nd? Dugan coming into this game on the season. We'll take a look at some of his stats coming into this game because he's had such a good game since that 1st inning. And Dugan, as I mentioned, coming into this season, or excuse me, into this game, a 1.69 ERA. He was 1-0 already. He had 2 appearances, 1 start, and 1 appearance out of the dugout. And across both of those, a 1.69 ERA. 1 win, no losses. So Dugan has been consistent already in this short beginning of the season for the Stanford Cardinal, and their 1 win on the season so far is Nick Dugan's previous start. Cardinal 1-5 on the year coming into today, and Penn State exactly the opposite, 5-1 on the year coming into today. And taking the mound again is Matt Morash, who came in. No pause for the public address, and we'll continue that. Matt Morash on the mound again. He had 1 strikeout in the last inning. He came in after Ben DeMille gave up a walk, grand slam, and a run, and then Morash was tapped. Difficult start for him, but he was able to settle in, and now Morash delivers. Owen Cobb, number 1, up to the plate here for the Stanford Cardinal. 2nd baseman has the grand slam on the day, and he hits that right to the 2nd baseman, Kyle Hannon of Penn State. So a quick 1 up, 1 down for pitcher Matt Morash. And Owen Cobb will take a seat on the bench. High and inside, number 22, Court McDonald Center fielder up at the plate now for the Stanford Cardinal. His 4th at bat on the game. Just inside a tight strike zone today. And some disagreement. Some disagreement here from Penn State dugout, and now back and forth. And an official warning now to the Penn State dugout, to head coach Mike Gambino, who clearly disagreed with that pitch, and an official warning issued there from Mike Fisher behind the plate. Fisher just saying, I don't know what to tell you. It was inside. So Court McDonald will stand back in. A strike down the middle for Morash. McDonald, a single in the first, grounded into a double play in the second, and then a walk in the third, and now he'll take low and outside. McDonald with a high fly ball to left field. Marsh under it. And Court McDonald will fly out to left field. And as I've said before, that is no small feat, catching those fly balls out there in that third base, left field side, staring right into this beaming sunshine. Jimmy Natay, first baseman, now up to bat. Swinging a high fly ball, kind of a line drive to right field, and that's handled by Adam Cicero, right fielder for Penn State. It looked for a second like it might fall in that gap, but Cicero was playing a little more towards center. He's able to get under it as that ball kind of floated. Nine to 3, Stanford. And we'll be back with you at the top of the inning. And welcome back. I'm Sarah Ash on commentary, and leading off here at the top of the 6th is J.T. Marr, the designated hitter for Penn State, number 40. Designated hitter, he had a sacrifice fly in that first inning, and he had a fly out to left field in the third. He's 1 for 2 on the day. And he'll take low. J.T. Marr with a huge season so far, and no surprise, the designated hitter batting cleanup here for Penn State. J.T. Marr with a .447 batting average so far on the year across 6 games. And a ball, and Stanford across the board, not entirely sure where that missed. 91 mile an hour. But disagreements coming from the Penn State dugout in the previous inning, and formal warning issued to Mike Gambino, and the Stanford dugout will stay quiet, and a strike there from Nick Dugan, who's got 5 strikeouts on the day. Dugan delivers and fouled back by JT Marr, 90 mile an hour. Full count to Marr here. Dugan delivers. Foul ball called down the line. And just foul. Stanford getting a little lucky on that one. JT Marr would have taken off across those bags, and that ball would have found that right-hand corner of the stadium where it's already gotten tucked in before for a single. And we'll go back to full count. JT Marr standing in. Dugan. Payoff pitch. Delivers. Swing and a foul ball. Just barely got a piece of that. Tipped that back. And so we'll do it again. Swinging a high fly ball hit. Looking like it might drop in between, and it does drop in between the center fielder, Court McDonald, and right fielder, Brady Reynolds. And well hit there from JT Marr. Just found that gap in that right center field. JT Marr on first now. Adam Cesari, the right fielder, number 12, stands in. The lefty drew a walk in the first inning and grounded out to first base in the third, and now he's got a man on. Swing and a miss. Dugan delivers. Cesari, he'll take low and outside. Cesari on the year, 16 at-bats across 6 games. And he's having quite a season as well, a .438 batting average on the year across those 6 games. He's had a massive year so far, of course, early in the season, and that one just got away from Dugan, and Cesari will take first on the walk. And so suddenly, Nick Dugan finds himself with no outs and 2 on. He'll have to pitch from the stretch here with 2 men on. Taven Kelly, the center fielder, 0 for 2 this game. We'll have a conference for the umpires right now. Taven Kelly, as I said, 0 for 2 on this game, 2 strikeouts. Nick Dugan has his number, and that's exactly what you want if you're Nick Dugan right now on the mound. He's been absolutely locked down since those 3 runs from Penn State in the first inning. 5 strikeouts on the day, as I've said, and now Dugan in possibly his last inning as we're seeing his pitch count start to climb. We'll try to record that 3rd strikeout versus Taven Kelly. He's caught him swinging twice, once in the first and once in the third. Taven Kelly on the year, 6 games played, 5 games started, and across those 6 games played, a .200 batting average, so a difficult year for him so far. Trying to get going, Taven Kelly, the 5th-year senior from Bowling Springs, Pennsylvania, in center field today for Penn State. And let's take a look at Stanford so far. As I mentioned, Nick Dugan with the only win recorded for the Stanford Cardinal on the season. Stanford 1-5 on the year, and that 1 win came from pitcher Nick Dugan, who is right now on record for the win if Stanford can hold this scoreline or at least hold this win. Stanford kicked off the year with 2 losses to Cal State Fullerton. Took that 3rd game of 3 in that 3-game series versus Cal State Fullerton. That was Nick Dugan starting, and they won that 4-1. Dugan held them to just 1 run. And a tough loss to UNLV, to Vegas, and then they kicked off this homestand 3-game series versus Penn State. A 15-4 loss on Friday, 13-2 in 7 innings yesterday. And now Stanford up 9-3. And it looks like that is the end of the day for pitcher Nick Dugan, who will get applause from the stands here. 5 strikeouts on the day. And he's pitched this Penn State team whose offense has just been rolling. As I mentioned, they scored 15 runs on Friday, 13 runs. On Saturday, if you're doing fast math, that's 28 runs across 2 games. So a Penn State offense that's just been on fire. Nick Dugan has been able to hold them to just 3 runs in this game and allow his Stanford offense to really get going. So a beautiful outing from Nick Dugan, and now it's up to the bullpen to keep this win alive for him and for the Cardinal. And on the pitching change, Stanford will put in number 19, Joey Volchko, the freshman right-handed pitcher. Joey Volchko, as I mentioned, the freshman 6'4" right-hander. And Joey Volchko, 2 appearances on the season, no games started. He's come out of the bullpen for both of those appearances, but he's kept it scoreless in both of those appearances out of the bullpen. He's posting a 0.0 ERA in those 2 appearances. 1.1 inning pitched. So Volchko will look to add to that in his 3rd appearance here out of the bullpen for Stanford. And the first batter that he will face is number 13, Taven Kelly, the center fielder, who, as I mentioned, 0 for 2 on the day, a strikeout in the first, a strikeout in the third, and I'm sure he's happy to see a new pitcher here and not Nick Dugan on the mound, who really had his number. Now Malcolm Moore, the catcher, giving some instruction as we reset here. JT Moore on second, Adam Cesari on first, 2 men on. And Volchko from the stretch. First pitch in the dirt there, 1-0. Pitch in a line drive shot from Taven Kelly right up the middle. But shortstop Trevor Haskins, what a range he has. He slides over, he picks up that ball behind second base and a long throw over to first. A beautiful play there from Stanford shortstop Trevor Haskins. The runners advance. So still 2 on, but 1 out here. Catcher Matt Maloney, number 18 now. Up to the plate, Maloney. With a single in the first, grounded out to first base in the 4th. Volchko with 2 on. From the stretch, and a great job from Stanford catcher Malcolm Moore to keep that ball in front of him. JT Moore with some speed on third base and looking like he was getting ready to head for home if that ball had gone just a little further from Malcolm Moore. And Volchko from the stretch, a strike. 2-1 the count now to Matt Maloney. 97 miles an hour from Joey Volchko. Volchko delivers a swing and a high fly ball to left field. Luke Lavin under it. And he bobbles it. Gets it back in, but tagging was JT Marr from third base. He'll score. Lavin making the catch, but then when he's trying to shift that ball from his glove into his hand to try to get that throw to home, hoping to catch JT Marr on that tag, he bobbles it, and JT Marr tagging up and scoring. 9-4 now. Stanford. And we'll get another check here. And head coach Mike Gambino for Penn State, it looks like he's coming out. He wants a bit of a, he might want a review of that catch to make sure it was actually a catch and a bobble on the transfer and not a bobble on the catch. Of course, those would be two very different things. A bobble on the catch would mean that Maloney would be on first base here and an out taken away. And so a conference here between all four umpires. And a big call here because the difference between that out being recorded and no Matt Maloney on first base is massive compared to no out recorded. A run scores and Maloney now finds himself on first base. Now it looks like a conference. Mike Fitcher, home plate umpire, when I'll talk over to Stanford's dugout for a conference, and suddenly this 9-3 lead doesn't seem so big. If you're the Stanford Cardinal, 9-4, 1 run coming in there, and it looks like we're about to get our decision here, and they're going to go to the replay. So it looks like what they'll be looking at here is if that bobble was on the transfer on the catch. Now, if he caught the ball and transferred it on the throw, then the situation will stay as is. 1 run scores and 1 out is recorded. Matt Maloney will head to the dugout as he would have been out on that fly ball. And then on the other hand, if the call is overturned, what we're looking at here is a bobble on the catch, meaning Matt Maloney is not out. He'll be at first base, and the run is recorded. Joey Volchko getting some warm-up pitches in, a few more here, and he's really clocking it in on this radar gun. He's hitting 98, 99 miles an hour, and I'll be sure to let you know if he hits those 3 digits. But the freshman coming in, letting a run in, obviously, that won't be recorded for him as it wasn't his runner, but still letting a run in here in number 19, Joey Volchko, the freshman from California, in his 3rd ever appearance as a Stanford Cardinal, has a lot of work to do. Some conferences between Penn State players and coaches here on the field. And the one thing that we know remains is that right fielder Adam Cesari, who got a walk to get on base and now finds himself on second base. He will remain on second base. He went back and forth, unsure what was going on as Lavin was bobbling that in left field. So some shaky defense across the board in this game with that unfortunate bobble in left field for Stanford just now, and some difficult play from shortstop of Penn State, Grant Morris, to allow a few runs for Stanford. And so As we wait the ruling, just coming in actually, the catch is confirmed. So the ruling stands as is. It is a catch, it is an out. Matt Maloney will head back to the dugout. An out recorded and a run scored. And so now Penn State finding themselves without challenges anymore. Head coach Mike Gambino using all of his challenges, and since that one was used and he did not win the call, he will be out of challenges for the rest of the game. And now taking the plate up to bat, number 28, Bobby Marsh, the left fielder. He popped out in the first inning, a walk in the fourth inning. And now Marsh will face Volchko for the first time, and bouncing ball handled well there by catcher Malcolm Moore, who both catchers in this game actually have had a lot to do. Stop those bouncing balls from flying behind and allowing runners to advance. Volchko from the stretch and a tight outside strike. 97 miles an hour from Volchko. One runner on. 1-1 count. Volchko checks the runner and delivers. Another great play there from catcher Malcolm Moore to keep that ball in front of him. That ball is in the dirt. 92 miles an hour again from Volchko, who is really just lighting up this radar gun right now. Volchko delivers a foul ball back well behind the stands. Bobby March will adjust. Stand back in, 2-2 the count. It was 98 miles an hour. Straight down the middle. Volchko, again, checks the runner from the stretch, delivers, and check swing there from Bobby Marsh. Good eye. Volchko. Payoff pitch from the stretch. A swing and a miss, and he got him. Bobby Marsh strikes out, and to end the inning, Volchko records the strikeout. A huge strikeout nonetheless, with one runner left on base there for Penn State. And great work out of the bullpen there for Joey Volchko in his third appearance for the Stanford Cardinal. The freshman records the strikeout. He went down swinging, Bobby Marsh. And he'll head back to the dugout now. 0 for 2 with a walk on the day. And we'll be back with you shortly for the bottom of the inning. Joining you back here, Sarah Ash here on commentary for bottom of the sixth inning. And we'll lead off this inning with number 10, Malcolm Moore, catcher for Stanford, who had a big inning defensively in the top of the inning with a few stops to keep that ball in front of him, avoiding pass balls and offensively. Malcolm Moore, 1 walk on the day in the 3rd inning, and he grounded out to first base in the 1st inning. So 0 for 1 with a walk, and Malcolm Moore will try to get things started here for the Stanford Cardinal. Moore with a swing through that first pitch here from Matt Morash. Morash finished the inning on the mound for Penn State. The bottom of the 5th. Recorded 1 strikeout, and now he's back out here for the 6th. And right at Malcolm Moore, hits him in the back. 86 miles an hour, and Malcolm Moore not happy about that. Exchanging some words here with Matt Morash, and he'll take it. 2 walks on the day now for Malcolm Moore. And now suddenly, to start the inning, bottom of the 6th, Stanford with 1 on, no outs. And Trevor Haskins, the shortstop, up to the plate. He had a fly out to center field in the 1st inning, a walk in the 3rd, and then he flew out to left field in the 4th, so he'll look for his first hit on the day today. Haskins, number 5, batting .250 coming into today, and a swing and a looping ball into left field. A beautiful single there for Trevor Haskins, who records his first hit of the day. Moore will head on over to second. So 2 on suddenly and no outs, and Matt Morash finding himself quickly in a jam here. Matt Morash, the left-handed freshman out of Western Massachusetts for Penn State. He's the 5th pitcher on the day for Penn State. He delivers high and inside, 85 miles an hour. One and 0 the count. One of the count. Ground ball to third. Flips it to second, looking to turn that double play, and they got him. Third to second to first, a difficult double play. Molinaro to Hannon to Jakonski for Penn State. And suddenly, instead of 2 on and no out, we are now sitting 1 on and 2 outs for the Stanford Cardinal. Malcolm Moore on third base. Number 2, Timo Becerra, the 3rd baseman for Stanford, up to the plate, and we're getting another pitching change here for Penn State. Their 6th pitcher on the day in 6 innings. Coming in, and Matt Morash will leave the field, recording 1 strikeout on the day. Timo Becerra will kick it off here for the Stanford Cardinal with Malcolm Moore on third base and 2 outs. Timo Becerra, the 3rd baseman, made a single in the 2nd inning, a single in the 3rd, and then a single in the 4th. So he is 3 for 3 on the day. And coming into the game here to pitch for Penn State, number 9, Connor Thornberry, the right-handed redshirt sophomore out of St. Louis. And he'll take his warm-up pitches on the mound as we take a look back at his stats so far. The redshirt sophomore, as I mentioned, he'll face Timo Becerra to start And Connor Thornberry with a 4.5 ERA. 2 appearances on the season, both of them out of the dugout. And he'll come in and try to mitigate some damage here for Penn State as they try to claw back some runs as we start to approach the later innings here at Stanford in the lead, but the lead certainly not big enough to sit back comfortably, especially with a Penn State team that scored 28 runs in the last 2 games before this against the Stanford Cardinal. The redshirt sophomore, 6'6" right-hander, will take his last warm-up pitches here. Connor Thornberry facing Timo Becerra to kick it off here. He delivers first pitch strike. Oh, 0-1 Becerra taking his time. High, 1-1. 2 outs, 1 on. So Becerra will need some kind of a hit here, and that could do it, driven into the gap, but just a little bit too much under it as right fielder Adam Cesari comes in and handles that to end the inning. So he'll fly out to right field. And so at the end of the 6th, 9-4 is the score. Stanford Cardinal in the lead. And we will be back with you at the top of the 7th. Welcome back here at the top of the 7th. Joey Volchko still on the mound for the Stanford Cardinal. He's got 1 strike so far. He came in the middle of the 6th, middle of the last inning. Was able to get Stanford out of a bit of a jam, just after 1 run scored, and Volchko delivers. Grant Norris at the plate for Penn State. Shortstop. He's walked once and he's grounded into a double play. And a close call, but low and outside is the call, the 97-mile-an-hour curveball. And we've talked about how Volchko can really light up this radar gun, and he certainly is today. Into the dirt, and another walk for Grant Norris, his 2nd of the day, and so with one runner on. Joe Jakonski, leadoff hitter, will go to the top of the order. Joe Jakonski will stand in. Jakonski started this game with a home run in the first inning. He drew a walk in the second and then grounded out in the fifth, and now he will see Volchko for the first time here. Low and outside, 98 miles an hour from Volchko. Norris, the lead off of first. Volchko inside in the dirt. Great job there from Malcolm Moore behind the plate. He's been able to keep so many balls in front of him. And we'll have a chat on the mound. We'll get conversation going with the freshman, certainly about how to pitch Joe Jakonski. Jakonski having an incredible year so far. Like I mentioned, he kicked off this game first at bat with a home run. Now he's got 2 walks as well on the game. Jakonski on the season posting just a massive batting average. .398, a 398 batting average on the season across 6 games. And he certainly knows how to get on base. If you think that's good, his on-base percentage, .560 on-base percentage. Over half the time he's at bat, he gets on base, and that's why he's the leadoff hitter here in this lineup for Penn State. So a big one here for Joey Volchko. One runner on. Changeup is 91 miles an hour, and that's saying something here. So low and outside it's called. Strike for Volchko, and been a big moment for the freshman. One on, facing Joe Jakonski. And Jakonski is able to draw the walk. So 2 walks to kick off this inning, not what you want if you're Stanford, and Joey Volchko having a hard time throwing some strikes right here, and Penn State just challenging him to do so. Jakonski not really even attempting to swing at most of those, and now Kyle Hannon, second baseman number 2, will come up to bat. Hannon has tried a bunt a couple times here in this game, once successfully, and he struck out in the 5th, but only after showing bunt a couple times. He's got the speed to get on base, and he's caught third baseman for Stanford, Timo Becerra, out once. So keep an eye on that. Jakonski from the stretch with 2 on. Pitch inside, and Hannon disagrees with it. There's already been some chatter from the Penn State bench, and there really can't be any more. Umpires have already issued a formal warning to head coach Mike Gambino. Hannon, a shot right up the middle to second baseman, a weird bounce, scooped up by shortstop Trevor Haskins, and he delivers a dime to Jimmy Nate, and a weird play, but an out recorded nonetheless. It was a weird bouncing ball to Owen Cobb. It looks like he had it, but a bobble that just happened to squirt right out to Trevor Haskins, who was in the right position. So a weird play, but Stanford still get it done. Runners advance. Joey Volchko still in a bind, but 1 out recorded, 2 on. .98 miles an hour. Third baseman Bryce Molinaro. And a ball, and quick to smother that is Malcolm Moore, as he knows he's got some speed on third, just looking for those pass balls. Volchko will need to be careful here. He's thrown a few in the dirt. and that could be trouble. Volchko from the stretch and a check swing and a strike. 98 miles an hour from Volchko and Molinaro. Trying to make something happen here for Penn State. 9-4 Stanford Cardinal, but 2 on in the top of the 7th here, and another strike. 2 strikes, both looking. And Bryce Molinaro is going to have to defend the plate now. And Volchko will take his time. He'll step off the mound. Volchko in a jam, and a big moment here for the freshman. And a bouncing ball foul down the third baseline. And so we'll do it again. It's a 91-mile-an-hour changeup from Volchko, and Volchko now will set from the stretch to Molinaro. Molinaro swings and a line drive to the shortstop, and he'll just try to record that routine out, but a throw offline from Trevor Haskins, who had a great play to record that first out. Haskins, it looked like he checked the runner at third, thought about going home, and then just got thrown off trying to go to first. And that routine play then, because of that throw, brings first baseman Jimmy Natai off of the bag. Difficult one there for Stanford, as Haskins looks like he almost went home to try to stop that run. Right move to go to first base. Stanford were sitting up by 5 runs at that point, but now 9-5, and an error for Haskins. "99 miles an hour there to JT Marr. Marr, the designated hitter, hitting cleanup for Penn State. And he's had a big day. Sacrifice fly, a single in the 6th inning, and over 400 batting average on the season. He's been huge for Penn State. So Volchko in a pinch, a bouncing ball to second base. Can they turn it? They do. So out of the pinch, Cobb to Haskins to Natai for the double play, and Stanford get out of it. Volchko get out of the jam, but not without some damage done. 9-5 now. Penn State slowly crawling their way back into this, and Stanford will need a big inning as we pause for the 7th inning stretch. Welcome back for the bottom of the 7th, and we've got a pitching change here for Penn State into the game. Number 15, David Lee. David Lee, the senior out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. First pitch strike to Brady Reynolds, right fielder, with a home run, a walk, and a strikeout today. And low and inside, and a 1-1 count now to Brady Reynolds. Brady Reynolds, the freshman from Bakersfield, California. Hit by the pitch, and that one looks like it really hurt, and he's going to walk that off as he heads down the first baseline. The second walk drawn of the day for Brady Reynolds. And number 15, David Lee, as I said, the senior pitcher from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And as you probably just heard over the loudspeaker, we've got a pinch runner here coming in for Brady Reynolds. Saborn Campbell, number 4, comes in to run. So Brady Reynolds out of the game, and now David Lee delivers a swing and a miss, and immediately looking to steal second base is Campbell. Safe at second. Matt Maloney got Stanford stealing once before in the first inning, and this time Saborn on the first pitch he's in takes second base. A great throw there from Maloney, but just a little bit too slow. And that pitch took a while to get to the plate, 80 miles an hour. And even that dime from Matt Maloney couldn't quite catch Saborn Campbell. And so we will return to Jake Sapien, the designated hitter, number 39, up at the plate here for Stanford. Umpires will have a small discussion on the mound. We'll get to take a look at here at David Lee, as I mentioned, new pitcher here for Penn State. On the mound, the senior out of Pittsburgh, 0.0 ERA in 2 appearances so far this year. Both appearances have been out of the dugout. The senior used to coming out of the dugout here, and conference still going on. And some brief conversations happening over there around second base. Brady Reynolds will exit the game. Saborn Campbell running for him. Jake Sapien will try to make something happen here. Sapien, 2 walks drawn already today, and a fly out to center field. Now some more warm-up pitches will be taken here for David Lee. David Lee is the 7th pitcher in 7 innings here for Penn State, and it's been a long one for them. Frankie Sanchez was the starter, the right-hander. Recorded a shutout in that first. He had a great first inning that he pitched. He's taken out, and Mason Batosh started the second inning, and he was taken out quickly after allowing many runs in, and Sheik Deganio really didn't go all that much better for him, and then Ben DeMel came in the 5th inning, and since then it's been a bit more of a lockdown defense for Penn State. Stanford with a big 3rd inning. 6 runs in the 3rd for Stanford, and 0s across the board since then. Penn State able to keep them scoreless since that huge inning they had, but damage was done, and the flow of this game has been an interesting one. Penn State out to a quick start, 3-0. Then immediately Stanford with a 3-run home run, tying it up. And actually, this runner is now challenged. Excuse me, it looks like that runner, I missed that call. That runner was called out initially at second base. Stanford then challenging the ruling, and after review, the play stands. Stanford is now out of challenges. So Saborn Campbell brought on to pinch run. Still second base and is called out on the play. It was a close one. Jake Sapien now. Trying to make something happen. Swings right through it. And a strikeout recorded, his first for David Lee. So despite the walk, it's 2 up and 2 out for David Lee in this inning. And now Owen Cobb, second baseman, will stand in. Cobb with a strikeout in the second and then a grand slam home run in the third. 4 out of 6 runs in that big third inning for Stanford came from Owen Cobb's grand slam and then ground ball in the fifth. So Cobb 1 for 3 today. And Stanford having been kept scoreless since that third inning. Try to make something happen here in the bottom of the 7th as Penn State are slowly climbing back in. Penn State with 1 run in the 6th, 1 run in the 7th. Slowly clawed their way back into this game and now just 4 runs down. And a take from Owen Cobb. Good take there from Owen Cobb. Low and slightly inside. 93 miles an hour from David Lee. Hitting a long fly ball. Foul into right field. Full count here now to Owen Cobb, 3 and 2. 2 outs. Nobody on the bottom of the 7th inning. David Lee hoping to get out of this with a scoreless inning and a long, high fly ball into the middle. Looks like a dangerous fly ball. Could have dropped in the middle, but instead center fielder Taven Kelly comes right in, racing in, is able to keep his eye on that. He almost overran it, actually, but he's able to hang on to that. And so we head into the top of the 8th, 9-5, Stanford University. And when we look at these score lines, Stanford 9 runs on 8 hits. Penn State 5 runs on 6 hits. No errors recorded from either team, but 5 left on for Penn State and 6 left on for Stanford. But good showing here for the Stanford Cardinal, who previous to this have struggled to really get their offense going. Their first game versus Cal State Fullerton, they were shut out 4-0. They lost their second game at home versus Cal State Fullerton in that 3-game series, 15-6. And then finally reported that third win, their first and only on the year, with a 4-1 win. But that's been the story so far for the Stanford Cardinal, having a hard time getting offense going, and specifically a hard time getting offense going against Penn State. In the first game on Friday, they recorded just 4 runs, while Penn State tallied 15. And yesterday, just 2 runs in 7 innings. But today, 9 runs for the Stanford Cardinal, the most they've scored on the season so far. And so with the switch, Brady Reynolds, the right fielder, out of the game. Saborn Campbell, he'll come in He'll play right field. And will stick with the right-hander, the freshman, number 19, Joey Volchko, and he'll face off here against number 12, Adam Vasiri, the right fielder. Check swing and a foul ball. Adam Vasiri with 2 walks forced this game, found himself on base quite a bit. Volchko now hoping to close this game well. Volchko delivers. An easy take there from Vasiri. Volchko will deliver Adam Cesaria's 3rd walk of the game, so immediately 1 on for Penn State, and coming up to the plate is Taven Kelly, the center fielder. 0 for 3 this game, 2 strikeouts and a ground out. And we'll take a break here with a meeting on the mound. And as Stanford players flood out of the dugout, seemingly to congratulate Joey Volchko on a job well done, it looks like this will be his goodbye as we see his relief trotting in from the dugout, or excuse me, from the bullpen. So a round of applause for Joey Volchko. 1 strikeout on the day for Joey Volchko. And just 2 runs allowed. And now into the game for Stanford, number 12, Torin O'Haron. The 6'1" sophomore from Rockland, California, will have some warm-up pitches. And we will be back with you shortly. And welcome back as Torin O'Haron, number 12, takes the mound for the Stanford Cardinal, the right-handed sophomore from Rockland, California. 2 appearances on the year so far, both coming out of the dugout. 3.86 ERA. And he'll come into the game the top of the 8th, try to close this one out for the Cardinal. With 1 runner on, he will be facing number 13, Taven Kelly, who I mentioned not having his best game on the year. 2 strikeouts and a ground out. And Torin O'Haron will certainly hope to keep that streak going for Taven Kelly. Kelly with 1 on. Penn State down by 4 runs, hoping he could bust this lead wide open and crawl a couple more back for Penn State. Top of the 8th. 1 out, or excuse me, 1 on. O'Haron delivers a ball in the dirt again, and Great day defensively behind the plate for Malcolm Moore. Torin O'Haron, as I mentioned, this is his third appearance out of the dugout this year for Stanford. He'll come in with one on and a swing and a miss there. Change up 82 miles an hour from O'Haron, and Kelly stands back in 1-1 on the count. O'Haron high and outside, 95 miles an hour. He's taking his time here. One runner on, Adam Cesare, right fielder. Walked by Volchko. He's on first base. Swinging a ground ball down the third base line. That'll roll out foul. Two-two. Top of the eighth, Stanford up 9-5 and hoping to keep it that way. Swing and a miss on the 2-2 count, and with the first batter he faces, Torin O'Haron records the strikeout. What a pitch that was from Torin O'Haron. 96 miles an hour on the gun, it says. And a tough day for Taven Kelly as he heads back to the dugout. 3 strikeouts and a ground out on the day for him. And here is Matt Maloney, the catcher. He's had a great day behind the plate. He's 1 for 3 on the day offensively. O'Haron checks the runner on first. Delivers high, 94 miles an hour. Just a bit high in that strike zone here to catcher Matt Maloney. High and outside once again, so Torin O'Haron, after a strikeout, 3 straight outside pitches. Now he needs to lock in. Checking his runner. Delivers inside for the strike. Beautiful pitch there as Torin O'Haron, as they say, painted that strike zone just over the outside of the plate. Delivers outside, and he will walk Maloney. So a strikeout and a walk, the first 2 batters for Torin O'Haron. Now Stanford find themselves in a bit of a jam with a 4-run lead, 2 runners on. And Bobby Marsh up to the plate. Marsh with a flyout, a walk, and a strikeout on the day. O'Haron delivers high. He taps his chest as if to say, that's my bad. Bobby Marsh, the left fielder, hoping to do something here. O'Haron delivers and a strike down the middle. O'Haron out of the stretch and another strike. 2 strikes now suddenly to Bobby Marsh after falling behind in the count. O'Haron's able to claw his way back in. 2 strikes back to back. Both looking. And now Bobby Marsh will have to defend the plate. Swinging a line drive into left field, chasing it. What a catch that was. Court McDonald having shifted to left field here. and he tracks it down. Two down, and Grant Morris, the shortstop, up to the plate. He's walked twice and ground into a double play today. Two outs, two on. Stanford ahead by 4. The pitch and a beautiful one. Strike to the outside. Oh, and 1 the count here. Torin O'Haron hoping to get Stanford in the bottom of this inning without any of these runs scoring. O'Haron checks his runners, delivers a close one. A call that previously could have been called a strike, and this time a ball. 96 miles an hour to the outside. And an unfortunate balk called here on Taryn O'Haron. Advances the runner. Adam Cesari, who was on second base, he'll advance to third, is what you just saw. So now runners on first and third. 2 outs. 2 strikes. O'Haron delivers outside. Excuse me, runners on second and third. The balk will advance both runners. O'Haron, just 1 strike needed to get himself out of this jam. A foul ball. So we'll do it again here. Grant Norris up at the plate. He's not had a hit on the day. He's walked twice. Taryn O'Haron now checks his runners. 2-2 count. 2 outs, 2 on. Delivers high and full count now to Grant Norris. Runners on second and third, and Taryn O'Haron will need, while there is an open bag, you don't want to put the tying run up at the plate. Stanford up by 4, and if he walks here, the tying run will come up to the plate. O'Haron delivers a check swing, and a ball is called a walk for Grant Norris, and now bases are loaded and the tying run coming up to the plate, and that tying run is Joe Jakonski. Potential tying run here. Penn State, bases loaded, 2 outs, and Joe Jakonski, who's had a big game so far, a home run and 2 walks, will come up to the plate to face Taryn O'Haron. Bases loaded, 2 outs, top of the 9th, and a big jam here for the Stanford Cardinal. Find themselves up by 4 runs. But now tying run at the plate here for Penn State. Jakonski takes a strike. O'Haron tucks that in on the inside corner. 81-mile-an-hour changeup. 0-1 the count. Outside. One and 1 the count here for Taryn O'Haron. He's got 3 on. And Joe Jakonski, who's already got a home run on the day, up at the plate. A close one just outside. And a good eye there from Jakonski, who's already drawn 2 walks on the day, as I mentioned. So 2 and 1 the count here for O'Haron. From the stretch. Delivers strike on the inside. Jakonski tried to sell that as if it was way too far inside, that it almost hit him. The umpire's not buying it. Two strikes now. O'Haron delivers in a strike down the middle. He got him looking to get him out of the jam, and oh my goodness, a big one that was. O'Haron records 2 strikeouts, and Penn State leaves the bases loaded. Joe Jakonski strikes out looking, and Taron O'Haron with 2 strikeouts in that inning gets him looking with a beautiful ball straight down the middle, and such a big pitch there from Taron O'Haron as the tying run was up at the plate, and now Stanford find themselves going into the bottom of the 8th, up 9-5, and we will be back with you for the bottom of the 8th. Hello, everybody, and welcome back for the bottom of the 8th inning here. Stanford Cardinal up 9-5 versus Penn State, hoping that this is the last time they will have to bat in this game. Bottom of the 8th, Court McDonald, the left fielder, number 22, up to the plate here in the bottom of the 8th. And he will face David Lee, the 7th pitcher for Penn State in this game. A foul ball driven down that first base line. .93 miles an hour, and Court McDonald will stand back in. Single in the first and a walk in the third. For Court McDonald to take that changeup. Grounded into a double play in the second inning, and he flew out in the 5th, so 1 for 3 with a walk for Court McDonald on the day. Plus a beautiful catch in left field, and he grounds that right into the hole, just past the first and second baseman. And McDonald gets on base to lead it off for Stanford. Stanford with the top of the order, kicking off the bottom of the 8th here. Court McDonald first in the lineup, and now number 6, Jimmy Natai, the first baseman, will come up and see what he can do here. Jimmy Natai, he got a walk in the first inning, a ground out in the third, and a fly out to right field in the 5th. And now he will face David Lee for the first time, and immediately hit by the pitch. He'll take the walk, his second of the day, and he'll take it. So McDonald to second. And now suddenly Stanford finding themselves with 2 on, no outs, and catcher Malcolm Moore coming up to the plate. Stanford approaching the heart of the order here. Moore batting third in the lineup for Stanford. He grounded out in the first inning. He walked in the third and walked in the 6th. So now 2 on for him. Lee pitching from the stretch, and a ground ball to second base. Penn State will want to turn 2 here, and that's exactly Oh, no, called safe at first. Malcolm Moore safe at first. He ran it out. It looked like potentially they'd gotten him, but called safe at first, avoiding the double play. Malcolm Moore hustling down the line. It looked like a routine ground ball, but it was a slow grounder to second base there. So what could have been a 4-6-3 double play turns into just one out, and now Stanford with runners at the corners and one out. Trevor Haskins showing bunt. An interesting technique. Trevor Haskins batting cleanup, the shortstop here. He had a single the last time he was up in the 6th inning, but before that he had 2 flyouts and a walk. So 1 for 3 with a walk. Trevor Haskins here, and your cleanup hitter to show bunt, something you don't see a lot. Haskins takes inside, 79-mile-an-hour changeup there. 1-1 the count now to Trevor Haskins. Runners on the corners. 1 out. Haskins with a good take again. Penn State not happy with that. Just inside. The runners on the corners, 2-1. The count now. 9-5 Stanford. And another ball. Good take there for Trevor Haskins. Haskins, as I said, with a single his last time up, and now he's got runners on the corners. Just 1 out. Even a sacrifice fly here would do it. Stanford up by just 4 runs. They'll want to pad that for Penn State's next at bat, and a swing and a miss. You could see the curve on that. Full count. David Lee pitching from the stretch here, and timeout called. And so it looks like this was a delay called on Trevor Haskins, moving too slow. And so he is then immediately called out as the penalty, if you will. Trevor Haskins, a delay on him. That's disappointing for not just Stanford, but for the shortstop Haskins. Out on the delay, and so instead of swinging a fly ball foul and trying to get to it, but that'll go out of bounds right into the Stanford dugout, and they're not hustling to let first baseman Joe Jakonski into their dugout to catch that. So Luke Lavin, the left fielder, who's moved to center field, up at the plate. And instead of Haskins up with 1 out and runners at the corners, 2 outs, runners at the corners. And David Lee finding himself in a pinch, but working hard to get out of this here. Two down, Lee delivers in a long fly ball to center field. Tracking it is Taven Kelly, and that will do it for the 8th inning. Stanford leaving 2 men on. No outs in the 8th recorded for Stanford. We head into the top of the 9th inning. Stanford leading 9-5, and we will rejoin you here for the top of the 5th inning. Of the 9th inning. We welcome you back here for the top of the 9th inning. Torrin O'Haron back on the mound here for Stanford. O'Haron pitched the last inning, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, and no runs allowed. Torrin O'Haron will try to finish this game off. And if he does his job, Stanford will not be batting again, but he's got quite a lineup to get through to do so, because he will be facing the top of the order, Kyle Hannon. That's second in the lineup here for Penn State. The second baseman will lead off the inning for Penn State. 4 runs down, and they'll need to get something going. And in the last inning, they left runners on all bases. They left the bases loaded. And Torrin O'Haron out to get the save and a strike to the inside, 94 miles an hour for the right-hander. Kyle Hannon at the plate, a triple and a bunt to start the game as he fouls that back. 2 for 2 to start the game, and then a strikeout in the 5th inning and grounded out to first base in the 7th. So 2 for 4 as a whole on the day today, and Torrin O'Haron delivers. He'll foul that right behind the plate. 1-2 count. I've said it before, but I'll say it again. A big day behind the plate here for number 10, Malcolm Moore of Stanford University, the sophomore catcher out of Sacramento. He's had a lot to deal with, and he's done it well. A take there from Kyle Hannon. Hannon hoping to get something going here for Penn State. 2-2 count. And a high fly ball in the infield. And handled beautifully there from a shortstop, Trevor Haskins. 1 down for Stanford and Torrin O'Haron. And coming up next, Bryce Molinaro, the third baseman. He struck out twice in this game. He's gotten on base due to a bobbled ball from none other than Trevor Haskins, who just made that catch. O'Haron delivers outside. Molinaro sets himself. Pitch called high. Fastball high. Just missing the strike zone, 93 miles an hour. So 2-0 the count. And quickly O'Haron finds himself behind in the count. Delivers strike right down the middle. Molinaro was taking that all the way, and you have to look into that on-deck circle, and you see JT Moore, the designated hitter. He's had a big day already and a big season already. You're going to want to get this out. Recorded a fly ball to center field. 2 outs for the Stanford Cardinal. 1 more to ice this game. Now JT Moore, designated hitter. Sacrifice fly to start the game. Single in the 6th. He's 2 for 4 on the day. And he'll come up with 2 outs, nobody on. Torrin O'Haron again trying to ice this. So as it looks, Stanford avoiding the sweep here. Delivers strike down the middle. Obviously, can never speak too soon. Stanford coming into the day. 9 runs on the day for Stanford University. That's the most in one game on this entire season for the Cardinal. That's their season high, and fair ball down the right down the left field line for Molinaro, and he'll get on base, or for JT Marr, and he will get on base. So a single for Marr, and now suddenly O'Haron finds himself pitching from the stretch. JT Marr, the beautiful looping ball down that third base line, and Adam Cesari, the right fielder, will now come up to the plate. He's drawn 3 walks so far in the game. 2 down, 1 on. Plenty to work with here for Torin O'Haron. But there's no need to make it difficult for himself, and that'll be low, 1-0. 2 down, 1 on. Torin O'Haron looking to close this game out with a save for Stanford, and that's a strike right there, 92 mile an hour. The top corner on the outside. Adam Cesari, who, as I mentioned, has drawn 3 walks in this game already. He will be sure to get this pitch count high. A strike down the middle, another one looking, and now Cesari will be forced to defend the plate. 2 down, 2 strikes. O'Haron delivers, swinging a foul ball. And so we will do it again. 9-5, Stanford, top of the 9th. 2 down, 1 on, and a 1-2 count. That was a 96 mile an hour fastball there from O'Haron. O'Haron now sets, checks his runner, and delivers a foul ball right behind the plate. And this is what you see from right fielder Adam Cesari, number 5 in the lineup here for Penn State. He knows how to get deep into an at-bat. O'Haron now will do it again. O'Haron checks. Crowd trying to pump him up. Delivers outside. 96 miles an hour, and a great at-bat here from Adam Cesari to try to keep Penn State alive. 2-2 the count now, and like I said, this is why the right fielder has so many walks, is because he knows how to get deep into a count. And so once again, 2 strikes again, and O'Haron hits it foul. And we will get a new baseball here. So once again, Torin O'Haron pitching with 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. Top of the 9th, 2 outs. 1 runner on here. O'Haron delivers just low, and so we will go to a full count. The runner went. JT Marr now having stolen second base, so runner on second. O'Haron sets. Top of the 9th, 2 outs, full count. The payoff pitch just outside, and another walk drawn. What an at-bat that was for Adam Cesari, his 4th on the day. He's down in the count, 1-2, 2 strikes, and he's able to climb back in and draw that walk from O'Haron. And so O'Haron will now have to face Taven Kelly, the center fielder, to try to ice this game now with 2 on. And the important thing here is to not allow the tying run up at the plate. As of now, Stanford up 4 runs. Taven Kelly coming up to the plate. He has struck out 3 times on the day and grounded out once. 0 for 4 for the center fielder from Penn State. The conference on the mound. Imagine a conference about how to pitch Taven Kelly. Most likely coming from Malcolm Moore. Malcolm Moore has been behind the plate the whole day for the Cardinal, and Taven Kelly 0 for 4 on the day. Imagine he's delivering some information to Torin O'Haron how to pitch the center fielder from Penn State. And so O'Haron will set. A looping ball, beautiful pitch, changeup, 81 miles an hour, right down the middle. 0-1 the count, a good start here for Torin O'Haron to get out in front on this count. 2 on, Adam Cesari on first, JT Marr on second. Taven Kelly at the plate. 2 down. And Stanford just trying to ice this game. Take 1 out of 3 on this 3-game series. And a long fly ball down the right field line. It's foul. He made good contact with that, Adam Cesari. Or excuse me, Taven Kelly. And the runners were off. But a foul ball nonetheless. So 2 strikes once again. 1-2 count here to Torin O'Haron. Crowd in the dugout trying to pump him up. 1 more strike to ice this game for Stanford and O'Haron. 1-2 count, 2 outs. He delivers. And a ball low. Changeup, 82 miles an hour. Top of the 9th. 2 on, 2 out. 2-2 count. Delivers in a strike, and he got him looking to end the game. And he is pumped as he should be. Torin O'Haron with the save. And Stanford Cardinal with their second victory on the season. They take this win 9-5. They avoid the sweep. Streak March 1st starts it. They'll go to Rice, and then they will go to UC Berkeley, and then away at Washington for this big road trip, and finally home again on March 15th versus USC. Again, you can catch them here tomorrow versus San Jose State. Then they're off on a road trip and home again March 15th versus USC. So Stanford Cardinal take the win 9-5. In 9 innings, they avoid the sweep. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And for Sarah Ash on commentary, we will see you next time.